Well, everyone, the Samsung Galaxy S10 was one of those phones that came out back in 2019. So it's approaching basically like 6 years old, almost 7 years old now, which is pretty crazy. And I want to kind of take a look at all the changes that happened throughout this particular year. Nothing super crazy happened. This phone has been outdated a little bit of time. But when we take a look at the outside and the hardware, the Samsung Galaxy S10 still holds up very well from that particular standpoint. When I'm looking at something like a Samsung Galaxy S10, this phone, with its beautiful display, with its build quality, with its, pretty much, USB-C, headphone jack, micro SD card slot, there are so many awesome things to kind of keep in mind here within this device. And this device, from that perspective, actually holds up very, very well. And when I look at this type of phone, I'm actually very happy with the way it kind of, has held up, at least from the hardware. Now, internally, it's kind of a little bit of a different story. This phone, for the most part, hasn't really gotten any big, software updates for this particular year. I think it's gotten some security updates, but for the most part, it's still on Android 12, right? One UI 4, we're now on One UI 8. So there are 4 versions of Android that this phone has not gotten. And that right there is going to be one of the biggest caveats when you take a look at the Samsung Galaxy S10. That is going to be a really big issue. I will say, because it is on an older version of Android, it was a bit more optimized for this phone. So the battery life isn't really that bad, but for a phone of this day and age, it's not going to be that great. It is giving you things like wireless charging and reverse wireless charging, but it still is going to be quite a bit of a limited type of device when it comes down to that particular standpoint. And that right there is going to be another very big thing to keep in mind there as well. The price tag of this phone is also going to be substantially cheaper than a lot of other phones. You can buy a Samsung Galaxy S10 for less than $100 all over the place. These things have gone down in value so much. And if you go on eBay, you can buy them for significantly cheaper than what they usually, than what they used to cost. But with that being said, you're also going to have to remember the price can be deceiving. And I don't think it's a good value per dollar anymore, because it is a phone that is not really giving us any more software updates. There are significantly way better types of phones to go and buy rather than this one. And that right there is one of the biggest things to keep in mind here. So when I look at the Galaxy S10, I would probably say if you have the money, obviously go for an S25, but there's a lot of phones in between that I also recommend buying. Phones like the Samsung Galaxy, S24, the Samsung Galaxy S23. Those types of phones are very good options. Those are also a couple years old, but those are very good phones that are giving you lots and lots of good capability, and those are still supported with software as well. So that's kind of how I feel this phone, how it holds up in the later part of 2025. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.